everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J, and today I am doing a collaboration video with my friend Cherie, who is my LA girl, and she reached out to me to collaborate and do a full face using MAC products. So I'm like, that sounds like fun, and I have been meaning to do a full face of MAC anyways, so why not do it with my girl who I ended up meeting in such a random way, but I'm so glad that we connected because she is definitely one of the sweetest people that I know. Quick backstory on how we met. So I was in line at Namie's back when I was on tour with Jill Scott, and I was getting some makeup. You know, it was a new launch out and I was waiting to get in, and she was walking past and she was like, "Hey, I need to talk to you, Kelsee." And I'm like, "Huh?" She's like, "I need to talk to you." I said, "Okay." So eventually we connected because the line was kind of long because it was a new hyped up launch that was out. And we talked and she told me, "I follow you on YouTube." And I'm like, "What?" Because I didn't know where I knew her from. And even though I'm from Tennessee and I was all the way in LA, y'all would be surprised how many people in real life I know. Like, I know a lot of people. So I'm like, where did I meet her at? And it was because she followed me on YouTube. So I thought that was super cool. We stayed in that store for like an hour and a half. It was one of my off days on tour where I was able to chill. And we just looked at so many things. We walked around and we talked, and we eventually ended up having lunch. And then the next day I had another off day, 2 in a row. Like, that was kind of rare being on tour. So I had another off day and we ended up meeting at the Grove, I want to say. Yeah. And we walked around and we shopped and we had lunch, and she was just so cool, and we have stayed connected ever since then. We're here today doing this collaboration. So she does videos on her channel regarding beauty as well as lifestyle and everything going down in the world. She would take us on her date nights in LA to show us cool hot spots. So definitely go check out her channel. But I'm so excited because we are collaborating to do a full face of MAC using products that we love, and we even pulled out some of our favorite limited edition or discontinued products just to show them some love because we have them. And MAC is the OG brand. MAC always holds a place in my heart because I grew up on MAC and then I worked for MAC for such a long time. So I have enough to do a full face here, so let's go ahead and get into it, and I hope that you all enjoy. Tell me some of your favorite MAC products down in the comment section as well. So I'm going to do my foundation first today, and I'm going to take the MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation, and this one is one of my favorite ones that MAC makes. I have this one in my kit. It's a waterproof foundation. It does not have SPF, and I just think it's fabulous. But we all know that the cult classic is the Studio Fix foundation, which I liked back in the day a little bit, but I never truly loved Studio Fix foundation because I always felt like it smelled funny and it didn't give me the coverage that I wanted, and it just wasn't flawless enough. And then this foundation right here came along, and I'm like, yo, this is what MAC needed all along. It has, you know, the squeeze tube, so I just take a little bit out, and I have the shade NC42, which I tell you all the time that this is my shade, but honestly, it works, but I think that it's just a little bit too light to work all over. And I am truly MAC NC43. And so I'm just going to blend NC42 in for you so you all can see. I mean, it's just a smidge. It works on my face, but as you all can tell, my face is lighter than my body. NC43 gives me a little bit more of the caramel tone that I need to truly match the rest of my body. And then my Studio Fix fluid is in the shade NC44. This one is too dark, but I'll show you. NC44 has a little bit of a redness to it. You see? I mean, it definitely works, but it's not a perfect match. And all over, once NC44 begins to oxidize, it gets real dark and red looking. So I don't prefer this color. I will go with NC42 before I go with NC44. But if a foundation formulation has NC43, I'm going with that. So I'm going to mix in a little bit of that NC44 Studio Fix and create a custom blend. Create NC43 basically. And this is my exact shade. And I'm using a 128 brush. Now, MAC brushes, as we all know, have changed. And before they were natural hair, this one is a natural and synthetic hair mix. So on one side is natural and on the other side is synthetic. And this one was my absolute favorite foundation brush. I just felt like it was the perfect size to work on everybody's face and really be able to buff in the product. And I still love it. This one is not exactly available because, like I said, they have changed their brushes and they're now all synthetic, and I was really disappointed about that because they didn't change it in a way where the brushes were really good quality. They just changed it to be synthetic and then still kept the same price point, and I was like, this isn't that great. I think my face looks super smooth and I love it. I know it's because of the Prolonged Wear Nourishing Waterproof Foundation. This foundation is amazing. If you are looking for a waterproof, non-budge foundation that's going to stay and be smooth and give you good coverage and not look cakey, and it doesn't have flashback, this is an excellent foundation and I really, really like it. So now I'm going to do my concealer, and I'm going to go in with the Prolonged Wear Concealer, which this concealer was the ish when it first came out. We could not keep it in stock. Everybody wanted to come get some Prolonged Wear concealer because this concealer was so long wearing and it gave a nice amount of coverage. It was really something that we had never seen before on the market because it was going to give you something that was going to be long wearing but also give us a nice amount of coverage, and it was a lot of different shades to select from. So I have the shade NC42 here as well. I had a few shades of this concealer, but the NC42 is the only one I can find in my collection. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And I'm going to apply it partially with the brush and to my sponge, of course. So this is the new brush that I purchased. This one is the 270S brush, and they put an S on the end of the numbers now to let you know that it's synthetic. I'm just going to pick up some of this concealer and dab it underneath my eyes. And this is how I used to apply this concealer when I worked at the counter, because I promise you all, everything had to be done with a brush and everything needed to be flawless. And back when I worked there, the trends kind of ranged from really, really natural to full on glam. So depending on the year, you know, I might sheer this concealer all the way out. And then some other years, I would just load it on, like maybe like 3 or 4 shades lighter and get that going. But I like this concealer's versatility because not only can you use this as a concealer, but you also could put it on the eyelids to mute out the eyelid color and use it as a primer if you need to, because it is waterproof, but it also has a little bit of a tact to it. So whenever you put your eyeshadows on top of there, it's going to let those eyeshadows stick and be a little bit more vibrant. This brush is real stiff. Whew, I don't know if I can keep doing that. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my sponge and blend it out. And then get in there and get me some more concealer going. I think overall it's a little bit drier than the typical concealer is that I use now, but I still feel like it was really ahead of its time in trailblazing, because even right now I think it looks pretty decent. Now I'm going to set it with a loose setting powder. I'm going to use my Laura Mercier. I have MAC loose setting powders, but none of them really can compare to my Laura Mercier. So for me to really like my makeup, I need to at least use this to be able to set the powder. Next, I'm going to take my favorite product that MAC makes, period. And that is the Mineralized Skin Finish. And still, after all of these years, I have not found a powder yet, after trying every single powder basically there is on the market. I've not found one that can even hold a flame in comparison to this powder. It is so smooth. It's so beautiful. I use it every day still. Okay, I use it every day to really get my skin to look smooth and flawless, and it doesn't change the color. It just adds a really nice soft finish to whatever foundation I'm using, and it locks it in place, and that is what I love so much about this product. It is an amazing, amazing product. So I'm going to take another Mineralized Skin Finish in a darker color, and I will be using this as my bronzer. So MAC makes bronzers, and I have a few from them, but I've never tried a bronzer from them that was really deep enough for my complexion. Traditionally, MAC has been a pretty inclusive brand, so it's somewhat surprising to me that they've never come out with a full range of bronzers that will really suit the lightest to the deepest complexion. So for their bronzers, since I have never found a tone that I like, I go in with my mineralized skin finish in a deeper shade, and I will use that because the formula just is fantastic. My Mimi was one of my favorite highlighters that MAC ever did because I loved the MAC Mariah Carey collection. I loved it so much that I have several backups, all right? And this is one of the ones that I have allotted for myself to use, but I just think that this was just the cutest thing ever. It's got Mariah Carey's face embossed in the highlighter. Oh my gosh, that is so me. That is the most me thing that I have ever seen. So I'm gonna take that as my highlighter today, and this highlighter is just so beautiful. It is so Mariah. Oh my gosh, like I've never seen anything cuter. That is one of the cutest things. MAC's blush formula is amazing. I own probably 100 MAC blushes, but these are some of my favorites that I depotted or bought as single pan blushes to put into this palette. So this one is my more coral, orange, warmer tones, and this one is just a mixture of blush colors that I really love, and I have used and abused this one the most. My favorite blush, I think, of all time is Gingerly. I mean, if it's not my favorite of all time, it's definitely like top 5. And I love this one because it is a muted tone that goes with any look. It just plays a backseat role, and it gives me color, but it doesn't overwhelm my face or my cheek area, and that is what I love so much about this color. It just gets in where it fits in, and it looks like it's a light tone that's not going to work, but it does, and I love it so much. Now that we have our face done, let's get into some eyes. And I'm gonna go ahead and do my eyebrows. I did not pick up a MAC brow pencil, so I'm gonna use my Benefit brow pencil, but back in the day, I used to run through a spiked brow pencil. I mean, I would run through it like water. I would have to buy one every single week because I would just use them, and sometimes they would break off, and then, you know, they were the type that rolled up and you couldn't roll them back down. But I loved it because it was very thin, and I could create some of the most hair-like strokes using that eyebrow pencil. But sadly, they discontinued that particular pencil, and definitely they discontinued the component that the eyebrow pencil went in, but they still have that color. But I didn't grab one, but that was just my first introduction to my eyebrows being on fleek. Okay, I feel incomplete, so now I need to do my eyes. So I already have my brows done, and I have some paint pots here, which are a hero product in my opinion from MAC, because I've always loved them to use them either as a base for my eyeshadow or even sometimes as eyeshadow themselves, because there's so many beautiful paint pots. I don't know what all ones they still have, but I pulled out some staples that I just love to use as an eyeshadow base, and that is Painterly, Soft Ochre, and Laying Low. And if you all used to watch me maybe 6 years ago, you would know I wore Laying Low out. I loved me some Laying Low. Today I'm actually going to take Soft Ochre with this same 270S brush, and I'm just going to take this all across my eyelid. A very thin layer of this, so not a lot at all, for my eyeshadow base. And this does not crease. I love me a MAC paint pot. They are so good. These are some products that were definitely really popular on the internet heavily half a decade ago, but they're still amazing to this day. Now here's my MAC Neutrals palette that I had such a fun time creating. Y'all used to really be at the MAC store spending my whole check. Every time I got paid, I'm driving to the MAC Pro store and I'm making it rain. So I bought every single thing that they ever made, pretty much. And I remember when I made this palette, it was something that was really fun for me because I was really just getting into neutrals, honestly, because I loved colorful eyeshadows growing up. I really never used neutrals ever And so when I finally was like, okay, let me get into some neutrals, I got into them. So this one is Saddle. This one is a classic MAC shade that I love to put in the crease. And I just think it's a really nice transition shade. It's still one of my favorite brown eyeshadows that I have because it's just super warm and lovely. Actually, I'm going to zoom y'all in. Hey, is that better? So I'm just going to take this back and forth, and I'm taking one of my classic 217 brushes, and I used to have, I don't know, 20 of these things, and I would just give my little crease life. I love a 217 brush. It is still one of my favorite blending brushes. So I'm happy that I have dupes for this brush now, so I don't have to be without the shade. Now I'm going to dip into Espresso, and when I say I used to wear this combo out, a little bit of Saddle in the crease, a little bit of Espresso, you know, just to intensify, I used to wear it out, y'all. I used to love me some Espresso and Saddle. It just is pretty. Now, as far as the lid selection goes, I think that MAC has nice eyeshadows. I think that we've definitely evolved to have a little bit more in terms of what they offer for their classic eyeshadow range. But to me, where MAC has always shined was their additional eyeshadows that weren't in the classic range, like their mineralized eyeshadows, the baked ones, when you used to spray it with some Fix Plus, woo, scrumptious, or either their pigments, which still go hard to this day. I barely could find a company that's really messing with MAC in terms of their pigments or even their glitters. Their glitters are just beautiful if you like glitter. And then later on down the line, I fell in love with their Dazzled shadows, which I still think are just some of the most beautiful eyeshadows that I really have in my collection. So I actually grabbed a new Dazzled eyeshadow, and I don't even know how to say this, Jodi Glitz. And I also love their extra dimension eyeshadows because they're so smooth and soft. So MAC has really nice options within their range. I have my 239 brush, which honestly, for this formula, the 242 would probably be better because it'll pick up that sparkle a little bit better. But I have the 239 and we're doing it. Oh, this is pretty. I'm going to pack that towards the inner portion, but not all the way, because I actually am going to put some blue there too. Now I'm going to go into the shade Try Me On, in between that green and the brown. Y'all, when I used to work at MAC, when I say I would want to have every color on my eyes, I was like, neutral who? Neutral what? So this one is another new eyeshadow that I purchased, and it's called Too Too Good. So I'm going to take that, pop that on the inner corner here. It's like a peachy type tone. Now I'm going to go back with Saddle across the rest of the lower lash line. Almost got tongue-tied. Boom. So now we need to do eyeliner. I'm going to go ahead and do my lower eyeliner first. And I love MAC chromographic pencils. They are so smooth. They blend out so nicely. And this is definitely a product that I have never heard anybody else talk about. This one is High Def Cyan. So I'm just going to pop that right in here. Let me get it going first. Yeah. Spice up your life with some blue. As far as the eyeliner for the top, I love fluid lines. I still use them all the time. And MAC used to come out with some amazing colors. This one is called Sayahi, and they don't have this one anymore. They just have the black, they have brown, and then a lighter brown. I'm like, MAC used to have so many fun colors. They would come out with some in limited edition collections, and I still love these. And I love the fact that it doesn't irritate my eyes. So super easy, super easy. If you have a hard time doing your eyeliner, try a gel eyeliner with a really thin brush. Next, let's go into some mascara, and this is the only mascara from MAC that I like, period. This one is the Extended Play Giga Black Black. Yeah, Giga Black Lash Mascara. And this one is just a really small tubing mascara that I feel like was kind of slept on, and then all of a sudden it got super popular on the internet a few years ago. but I don't use it as much as I used to. But I love it because it's super, super tiny and you can get precise and define your lashes. But what I love it for mainly is for my lower lashes. But this mascara is just A1. So MAC was really onto something when they created this formula. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the top to coat the lashes, and then on the lower lashes I'm going to get up close and go in. So I'll be right back. You know we got to do lashes, and MAC actually has some new style lashes, and these are called the Megastar Lash. And I used to love some MAC 48 lashes, and I would love some 2s. Those are some of my favorite styles, but they still have them. But I was just interested in this new range that they have created. So I'm just going to press these on. On my eyes, they look pretty simple. But on somebody else's eye, it would look like super dramatic. But on me, it just kind of looks like an everyday type lash. But it definitely is a long, dramatic type lash. Now, my lashes are on. Let's do our lips. To me, MAC lip products are still top-notch quality, ranging from their lip liners to their lipsticks to their lip glosses. They are just amazing products overall, and as you all may know, Cork is my all-time favorite lip liner of all time. It is such a beautiful product. Mine is a little nub, but don't worry, I have a backup waiting here ready to go. Y'all, I had to bust it out. I had to bring out Oh Baby. Oh Baby was my first product that I ever purchased from MAC, period. And I begged my mama, I said, Mama, please, please can I have Oh Baby? And it was just luxurious and beautiful. And I remember I was 9 years old. Oh Baby is a cult classic. It's a very beautiful bronze clear gloss that's super shiny, and I still love it. It's such a pretty color. But here is the finished look. So I hope that you all have enjoyed this video, because I most certainly have. You know, I literally was a MAC baby as a young kid, 9 years old, going to the MAC counters and following around MAC artists and just picking up everything that they did. I absorbed everything. I was such a sponge, and I really, really enjoyed being there and eventually being able to work for the company for 6 years. So this is a trip down memory lane, and I love it. I still love so many MAC products. As you all can tell, they make some really great things. And even though we have strayed and, you know, discovered new brands and new products, it's always fun to rediscover some things that we already have in our collection. And MAC definitely has some gems. So I enjoyed doing this video. Thank you so much, Lady Red, for suggesting this idea and reaching out to me to collaborate. Definitely go check her out, you guys. I will have a link to her channel down in the description box. So I hope that you all enjoy, and I will check you all in my very next video, which will be super, super soon. Smooches. Bye.